Day. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to Cooped Up Live, should I say. My daily-ish broadcast where I just talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. While we're waiting on folks to join, coopedup.com is my website. You can check that out at any time. I'm Cooped Up is my handle in all the social places. Would love a follow wherever you watch or listen, particularly if you're on the Instagrams, and wherever you watch or listen to this. Click the bell to be subscribed. Sorry, my brain's out of sorts all of a sudden. This is on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, as well as rebroadcast in audio format on all the major podcasting platforms. Would love a subscription or whatever they call it on the platform of your choice. Hey, Mama, how you today? What a weird day today has been. By the way, Carrie was going to join today, but there's a transformer in her neighborhood or her building or something that went out. And so she's been without power at this point since this morning. And they said it's about a 10-hour repair. If they have the right equipment, they showed up and it was the wrong transformer. So TBD on when she gets power back. Fortunately, it's not too terribly hot or too terribly sunny today. But she was going to be here. And my day, the kids are out of town this week. They get back tomorrow. I have to pick them up at the airport. Monica is texting me right now, asking if there's no show. I'm on now. Anyway, so my times are out of sorts. So the kids get back tomorrow, and I will not be here tomorrow because I have to pick them up at the airport at 4:30 exactly. But I didn't realize how much of a time stamp the kids being in my life put on my days, right? So wake up in the morning and it's just balls to the wall, pedal to the metal, whatever cliche you want to use to get, and that's how the day starts. And then I go to work out or walk or whatever, and then have my day. But then I have to have a hard stop at like 3:15 because I need to pick them up between 3:15 and 3:30, and then get home, get settled, talk to y'all at 4:30, and then it's the evening time, right? I never have realized like how much of a barometer, that's not the right word, regulator, maybe that's the right word, that is in my life, because, and it makes sense. And I'm not saying to their credit or not to their credit, just acknowledging the moment. Because like yesterday, Eric texted because we had dinner with Eric and his husband Mark last night. He texted at 4:30 saying, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to watch your show today." And I'm like, I wasn't even at my computer. I'm like, it is 4:30. I did not realize it was 4:30 even. So I didn't know what time it was. And today it kind of snuck up on me too. So yeah, it's funny how that works out, isn't it? Anyway, and then Tina Turner died today, y'all. Like, that is crazy to me. So she is one of the greats, obviously. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Tina Turner. And if you do, shut your fucking mouth. But I just, most of her music is very good. Some of it's very cheesy, synthesizer, all that kind of stuff. Even more to love about that. I've seen her in concert twice, and amazing, high energy. The last time I saw her in concert, you could tell she was getting a little unstable on her feet, and I think that was her last tour, because it is a very intensive thing that she's doing. But the performing is hard for anyone, but when you have that level of performance and the dancing and all of that kind of stuff that she does. But I've been listening to Tina. She was 83, so they haven't officially released the cause of death, but she had a stroke a few years ago. And then I believe a few months ago, she visited and by the way, she had a stroke a few years ago and has never fully recovered from that. She's had some kidney issues, all this kind of stuff. And then I believe she visited the United States a couple of months ago, maybe 6 months ago. I don't know the exact time frame. But in that interview or whatever she did, I'm sure it was with Oprah, she said something to the effect of, "This is my last time in the United States. Like, I will not be back," because she knew the time was coming for her to say goodbye. And then I haven't seen the documentary that her husband produced about her, and it came out in the last couple of years, I think during the pandemic. And supposedly that was her way of saying goodbye, setting the record straight. She's never loved the movie What's Love Got to Do with It. She thinks they took too many creative liberties in it, so she actually does not like the movie. It was based on the book she wrote, I, Tina. But she is that the one you read, Eric? I, Tina. But yeah, tough life, great voice, great energy. I will say to her credit that this is kind of a silly thing, but I think that there are so many of us of a certain age, at least, who loved her, loved the movie. What's Love Got to Do with It? I actually love that soundtrack. I love the movie, even if it is maybe not as. I think she was upset, not that it lied, but that it like some of the sequencing was different. They took artistic license with things, I think is what she said about it. And that she was just much more of a purist about it. But one of the things is, I bet because of that movie, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who know the Buddhist chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo because of that movie. Like, I know it. And sometimes, like, if I am I'm not Buddhist, but sometimes if I just need to clear my brain, the whole point of that Buddhist chant is similar to if you count to 300 or you're meditating on your breathing. It is to get that into your brain, and it forces you not to do anything else. It forces all thoughts out. It forces you to, that is your only moment, right? And so sometimes, like, if I can't sleep or whatever, I actually, or on a plane, like if there's a lot of turbulence and such, because I don't mind a little bit of turbulence, but when it starts dropping, and we had that going into Houston when we went to Mexico, and I was not a big fan of that. I'll say that to myself, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. That's how she did it. And so, she had another book, My Love Story, that she wrote in 2018. It was an airport bookstore purchase. I was not aware of that. I'm a Tina Turner fan like everyone else. I wouldn't claim to be a Tina Turner super fan, although based on everything I know, maybe I'm more of one than I thought. But then, and I love, she has such a connection to Dallas. Dallas is where she left Ike Turner. The hotel downtown, whose name just fell out of my head, is the one that she ran to or from. She either ran to it or from it. And that's where she went to escape him. And in the scene in the movie, my name is Tina Turner. Yes, that one. So anyway, so I have been listening to Tina Turner's playlist. She has the Greatest Hits album that I like a lot. And I'm trying to think, it's falling out of my brain at the moment. I actually started crying earlier. Let me see what the name of it is. Try not to right now. The Best. It's just called The Best. It's a great. No, that's not what it's called. What is the album called? It is Show Album. It is All the Best, the Hits. That's what it's called. So anyway, so last night, changing subjects quickly, not looking you all in the eye quickly. I'm such a sap. So we went to dinner last night, and I lost my motherfucking sunglasses. I left them on the table, and I am really good about not losing things. Like, it's part of my ADHD coping mechanism. I know where everything is at all times. Things only have a certain place that they exist. They're either on my head, in my hand, on the counter, or in the door of my car, pretty much, right? Or sometimes clipped to my shirt. Like, that's the kind of like the things that I do. And as soon as I don't do that, so I wore them into the restaurant. We went to Dunstan's, and Dunstan's is a very dark restaurant. So dark that I made it in, and I was pulling my sunglasses off because it was bright outside, and I still could not see inside. And I think I set them down I remember sitting them down on the table, now that I'm thinking about it. And then we left, and then I got back to the house, and I realized I did not have them. And I called up there. They close at 9, so they didn't answer. I went by there today. No one had turned them in. They didn't find them or anything like that. They took my number, but we'll see. But it did give me a good reason to go buy some more today. I went today and I only wear new Wayfarers from Ray-Ban. Like I have them in tortoise brown. I had them in black. Black is the one I lost. And so the ones I got today, it's kind of like a smoke color. I decided to be a little edgier like that, a little smoke colored. Maybe I should continue to wear these in case I start crying again. I got these because I was like, you know what? It'll be my luck that I buy a replacement pair of the black ones. And these are really pretty. I buy a replacement pair of the black ones, and then a week later I get a call from Dunstan's that they have them. And then I've got 2 pairs of the same glasses. So we will see. I'll just wait it out. But I literally only wear them. They're the same kind that JFK wore as well. Although he wore the original Wayfarer. The new Wayfarers are a little bit wider. The plastic's a little bit thinner around the edges. Like the actual lenses are bigger. But yeah, I rarely lose things. And it bothers me a lot when I do. But I got to go to North Park to get some new ones. But it was so weird. North Park. So if you're not aware of North Park, it is like the ritzy mall here in Dallas. It has the number 1 Neiman Marcus in the entire country. I believe that its rent per square foot is the highest of any shopping center in the entire country. It like outdoes Rodeo Drive and all of these things. It's got all of like the big brands. It used to have more like mid-level brands too. I would say that probably the lowest end brand that they have now is Banana Republic. Because even their H&M is out. Zara is probably a lower end brand there. But and then they have Macy's, Dillard's, Neiman's, and Nordstrom. And Dillard's is the trash one of those 4. But so I went to there and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the Ray-Ban store. I know they have a Ray-Ban store there. Ray-Ban store closed. It was not out of business. They are renovating it, and it's going to open in mid-June. I'm like, well, I can't wait till mid-June. So then I go to the Sunglass Hut, closed. They're renovating it also. And then I'm walking, and I walk by the J. Crew, closed. They're renovating that as well. Like there were so many stores, and maybe this is the universe saying, hey, Cooper, get out of here. Don't spend your money. So I ended up going into Macy's because there's like a little mini Sunglass Hut in Macy's, and I bought them there. So $200 later, dinner was really expensive last night, but yeah, it was good. So thank you, Mom. You love the glasses. I swear, I am, when I find a style of something I like, I buy it in all the colors, and I just stick with it. So Sandy is saying, love the t-shirt. I believe I got it because you influenced me. That is entirely likely. So a year ago today is when Robb Elementary had their shooter. And you know what's happened since then? Jack shit. Nothing. No changes. Nothing. And more kids have been killed. Texas is now the state with the most shootings. Like, it's just crazy. And it can be both a public health thing and a gun thing. It can be both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. But anyway. Back to Tina. The music about her life was very good. My sister and I saw it in London. Oh, yeah. I keep wanting to see that. Has that toured? Have they done that on tour yet? God, now my nose is running. And I think I like Tina Turner. One of the reasons I like her so much is, Mom, did you listen to Tina a lot when I was a kid? I feel like we had cassettes going in the house at all times and in our Walkmans of like Tina Turner and what's his name? Anything but typical, but Robert Palmer. That's who it was. I feel like Robert Palmer was on all the time too. Like, I feel like I probably, if you played the cassette tape of whatever tape that was at the time, I could probably tell you the next song before the song ended because we listened to it so much. And I could probably even tell you the pause when the tape reversed and started playing the other direction. Kids these days just do not know the struggle. They do not understand the struggle of not being able to get exactly to the song you want. Because I mean, CDs at least let you do that, but you still had to listen. You still had to buy the whole damn CD. Whitney was the queen of that. She would have like three. And I love, again, Sign of the Cross, rest her heart, whatever. Rest in peace. I love Whitney Houston. She is my diva. She is the one that, if you're a little gay boy, when you turn, there's a meme. It's like when you're a little gay boy, when you turn about 10 or 12, the universe gives you a single diva, a singer, and that is your ride or die for the rest of your life. Well, Whitney Houston is mine. And but she has some stinkers also. She was the queen of making an album that had 8 to 10 songs on it. There'd be 4 that were just bangers, so good, love them. They were your jams. But then she would always have a crappy one, a duet with Bobby Brown. She'd have a crappy, cheesy one that was just like, what the fuck is that? Like, it was just like filler music. You can't do that anymore if you make an album, because people download singles now, right? So anyway, but weird about North Park. And the mall was, the parking lot was like full. The mall didn't seem that crowded, but it's also a very large mall, so I think it's easy to not seem super crowded. But it was the parking lot was crazy. I did not see many things about Memorial Day sales. Maybe that's more online. I wasn't really looking for that. I did go in. I bought Mason some cologne for Mason's birthday's in a week and a half. June 4th is his birthday. And when we were on vacation, I wear Jo Malone fragrances, and I specifically wear Basil Lime Mandarin. But they give you little samples a lot, which I didn't do today. I just realized that. They give you samples a lot, and I travel with those, and I'll try different ones. And there's this one called Orange Blossom that was in my bag. Mason tried it, and he loved it. So I went to Jo Malone and got him one of those. But I'm going to have talked with this boy, because the small bottle is $90 of this cologne. So I'm going to be like, you cannot douse yourself in this. It's too expensive. You don't like it, or if you decide you don't want it anymore, you're giving it to me because I love it still. Robert Palmer was my mom's heart. Yes. Loved him. So if y'all see any Memorial Day sales, give a bitch a heads up. Another weird thing happened today it's good news, but it's like good news that I can't do shit with. So I get a text and an email notification from the DISD, Dallas Independent Schools Magnet School School of Choice program. It's called choice.disd.org or whatever the website is, where you go in, and that's how you apply to anything that's not in your normal feeder school. Like if you one of those, proud to be public, as long as it's a special program that you have to take a bunch of tests to get into, and not everybody can do it. Like that's the program basically. They just call it Choice for short. But we got a notification today that Mason was accepted. So he's already been accepted into the Hillcrest International Baccalaureate program. By the way, none of this matters because we're still going to Lake Hill, and we've already signed the contract, paid all the tuition, $28,000, whatever it is, which is not all that much for Dallas private school tuition. But so he got into Hillcrest IB program, International Baccalaureate, but we wanted him in the Woodrow. That was our number one choice, was Woodrow. Oh, we got a notification today that they did a round 2 lottery or something. I don't know what. I cannot figure. I have no visibility or cannot apply any sense of reason to how kids get into these things. You just had to pass a minimum threshold of testing and all that stuff, but then I don't know what it was after that. But long story short, I'm not having my stroke in installments, I promise. Long story short, he got into the Woodrow Wilson High School International Baccalaureate program today. He's been on the wait list. He's been like number 3 on the wait list forever. He got in today. Can't do jack shit with that. But the good news, the congratulatory thing, is we got into the number 1 program that we wanted to be in. We got our first choice, which is the only reason I've stayed on the list. I was just like, damn it, I'm not going to accept anything but what we wanted as our first choice. The other one was fine, but I'm going to write it out and see if it works out, which it did. And so now we can say Mason got into his top choices of his applying, because his top choice for private schools was Lake Hill. It's not the highest ranked of the ones that we applied to, but it's the one he liked best, and it fits our family the best. So he got into that one, and now he got into Woodrow too. So that is good news. It's good news. It's just, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this good news now that I already am under contract and have written a big ass check? Because we paid in full. Anyway. And then the other thing, the last thing I have on my card, so if you have anything, because by the way, I'm not here tomorrow because I got to pick up the kids. I am off on Friday, so I will most likely not be here Friday. And then Monday being a holiday, I will most likely not be here. So if you got a question for Daddy Cooper, ask it between now, and you need it answered between now and Tuesday. Ask it now or forever hold your peace. But I've had a few people text me today asking my opinion on what's going on at Target. If you don't know, Target has decided that for the safety of, and I'm not doing this sarcastically, I'm doing this because it's the quote, or the air quotes. If you're listening and can't see it, I'm doing air quotes. For the safety of its associates, they are making modifications to their Pride section. Because like at our Target, you walk in and it is literally, there's the dollar spot where they have the cheap shit, and then it's the Pride section. And that's always where they had Black History Month. They have, that's always like their seasonal thing. And Pride is the one that they do in May and June. And but it's front and center and all that stuff. And of course, right now, we LGBTQ plus people are the whipping boys and girls of the conservatives and the evangelicals and the Trumpers and all of these people right now, right? And so, which is why it's very, very important to vote, people. But so Target has said that they are, in some stores, they are removing certain merchandise items. I have not heard that any stores are wholly taking the section out. I've heard that what I've read, that some are removing some of the stuff that people have found have had objections to. Like there's like a kid's book that's like about two dads or whatever. And it's not recruiting people to be gay. Not at all. I mean, this is what is funny to me. I saw a meme about this today. The same people who what was the meme I saw? The same people who think that, what was it? God, it's going to bother me now. But basically, it was like the same people who don't believe something now believe that books are going to make you gay. I've been reading about straight people for a very long time and seeing a lot of movies about them, and it didn't work on me. But so they're taking out some of the merchandise. There's some trans stuff in there too that they're taking out of certain stores. I'm sure our store will keep it because ours is like Target. But the in some southern, it was mostly in the southern states too. Go figure. But so they're either reducing the inventory or they're de-emphasizing the section and moving the section to, my guess is they're going to move it to that back corner where all Target stores have like their other seasonal stuff like gardening or Christmas ornaments or that kind of stuff. Because like my Target, when you walk in at Christmas time, Christmas is in the back far corner. It's not front and center. So anyway. Eric is asking, does Lake Hill require their money so early so that you don't bail and go to a different school? Every private school does this. Our school requires this too. You have to sign your contract. The contract is what gets you. It's not, and even our school, I personally, as board president of our school, one of the first things I did was tighten up our contract so that you can, once you sign it, you cannot get out of it. So, a little karma there, but yes. Most schools require that you sign your contract usually within 2 weeks of them providing the notices. So by April 1st, basically, because March 13th, I think, was the date. So I think March 28th was the date that we had to have we had to commit to the school. And then tuition is usually due a little bit after that. I think our tuition was due May the 1st, or you had to get on a payment plan that started May the 1st and goes for like a few months. Our school, where we are right now, the payment plan, if you're on it, it starts a little bit earlier, and we, I think, collect about 6 months of tuition of the 10, because we do a 10-month plan. before the first day of school even. So it's very, very normal for private schools. There's nothing out of line with that, nothing nefarious. It's basically just, this is when we notified you, blah, blah, blah. And technically, DISD even required within 10 days of letting us know about the first notification, we had to do it. And then today's, it was like, you need to let us know in 2 weeks what you're going to do. So anyway, back to Target, though. I didn't finish that thought. So I don't believe they're wholly removing the section. So to their credit, I do believe that they are, because there's a lot of pressure on all of these kind of Bud Lights found it, all of this kind of stuff, that they're allegedly involved in the culture wars, although I would argue that the other people are too. And that they're just removing some stuff. And I genuinely do. Supposedly people are going in and trashing the sections, like tearing stuff down, accosting associates, all that kind of stuff. Because people have lost their fucking minds the last couple of years. Like, I feel like no one has any, well, not no one, a lot of people don't have any sense of decorum, behavior, how you're supposed to act when you're in public, right? And you don't have to be triggered by every fucking thing. Triggers are in your brain. That kind, at least. Ironic that I'm wearing a Uvalde shirt talking about that. But but anyway, so to their credit, they've not wholly removed the sections. And I do believe that it is important to protect your associates as well. So the big thing has been the harassment of Target. Exactly, Eric. That's what I was saying. So it's, it's rocking a hard place. And if they stood up and said, nope, we're keeping it, I think it would just escalate the situation. And our section was already pretty sold out anyway. So I'm not sure that it's hurting all that much. But I don't read the other side's news very often, but I'm sure they're declaring victory about it. Anyway, that's all I got today. All right, ended is 5 o'clock. Okay, perfect timing. All righty. Well, with that, I am going to say goodbye, get back to listening to some Tina Turner. Going to talk to the kids in a little bit. They get their phones like 1 hour a day. Supposedly, they're not hating not having their phones on them, which I love. They only get them for an hour a day. They get to call us, all that kind of stuff, which is great. And they want to call us. They actually choose to call us, which is also very nice. So with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. It's important to know you were loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you so much. I will miss you since I'm not going to see you again until Tuesday. For those of you who have served or have family who've died in the line of service, thank you for your sacrifice. Happy Memorial Day, or solemn. Is it happy? Whatever the right word is. You know my intention, and that's what it's all about. So, all right, talk to you Tuesday. See you later. Thank you for joining for another episode of Cooped Up Live, should I say. Talk to you later. Bye.